Live from Bennigan's Restaurant at Franciscan Way, it's Ohio Valley Sports Online's edition of the Coaches Shows as we begin the 2022 season. Our lineup tonight, as we will do a schedule show, and then our regular schedule shows will begin the Wednesday or Thursday before the regular season begins. So we'll have Reno Suckotch on at 6 o'clock. At 6:30, Andrew Connor of Indian Creek. And at 7 o'clock right now is Mike Colby from Edison. We'll still see if we can pick up for somebody for 6:30 because Catholic Central and Toronto are unable to make it at this time. So we welcome you to Coach Reno and along with Billy and Dan. How you been, Coach? Been a while.
It's been a while.
We got you to do some baseball and stuff for it. We appreciate you stepping in and helping out. Did better than your brother, I think. That's what I heard.
It was the biggest audience we had.
Well, first I want to talk about
comedy of errors.
It's how you learn by getting behind her. We talk about the scheduling, and that's what this show in particular today is going to be about. Is the fact that if you're a new coach, you're coming in, or even a coach as you, how do you set up a schedule? I know there's a teamwork between you and your AD. Does your AD go out and find teams that need a game, or or if you want to play? How does all that work out? How do you build your schedule?
Well, it depends on what school you're at. If you're at a local school like Indian Creek or Edison, most of your games you have at least 6 or 7 games that are scheduled for you, and then you got to go out and hunt a few of them. But in our case, we're not in the league, and we're lucky that that Wheeling Park's playing us right now, and we have a schedule with Dover and New Philadelphia. Then after that, we're on our own.
Well, these are the teams you just mentioned. I was going to bring up because they're not around here, but they are all not afraid to play. They'll come and play. They're not these teams like, oh, we're not going to go there and get hammered. But you've developed relationships with these coaches and stuff over the years and these teams and mutual respect. So it's nice to be able to get these kind of teams to play you.
Yeah, and Dover's in the same situation we are. I mean, they didn't fill their Game 7 until, I think, 2 weeks ago. And they ended up getting DeSales because DeSales had a cancellation. So, like I said, Dover, New Philadelphia moved to the a league up north, up around Canton, and just left, Dover without a
so much for their OVAC.
So, yeah.
I think both teams are out of the OVAC, right, Coach? Dover and New Philly is out.
I don't think.
New Philly was out, and somebody told me last night Dover and New Philly is both out of the OVAC. I don't know how true it is.
I don't think Dover is, but I mean, they could be. I really don't.
But you're talking about
I have my own problems, I don't think Dover's. Yeah. I don't think Dover. We have a beautiful relationship with Dover and New Philadelphia, but I don't think we'll be playing New Philadelphia much after the next 2 years because of the league they got into. So. It's a job.
Are these teams that you enjoy playing? Dover's, New Philly, Wheeling Park, and stuff outside of your regular schedule? The teams you play.
Well, yeah. I think that especially since Doc's taken over the Wheeling Park job. I mean, they're as good as anybody else that we play. And Dover's always been good. I mean, since Dan If's been there, they've taken that to the next level. And New Philadelphia had a nice run there, and then Matt left. One of his assistants took over. So and we've been trying to schedule Mooney and Ursuline for years, and we played Ursuline a lot during the past. But we finally got a 4-year contract with Mooney. Before that it was just we ended up playing a team from Maryland, a private school from Maryland that's really good, like the National Christian team we played 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
How you find these teams?
Well, I know a few guys in D.C. and they like coming here. The coach that was at that we're playing from Archbishop Carroll, I've known him for years, and they need games, and they have the number 1 athlete in the nation right now, and the kid's 6'5". 225 and runs a 10-300. He plays defensive end for him and slot, and they're 43 and 3 in the last 46 games.
I run that to my refrigerator. 10.3.
And we play them on a Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, the third game. So I mean that's gonna be a good game. But scheduling, you just got to hustle. And John Orlesic, our athletic director, he helps, and just like Lynn Meyer helped when she was the athletic director. But you got to work together, and the coach got to have the final say. I believe the coach has to have the final say.
Or for the most part, every year, are you happy with your scheduling? What has been given to you? As far as you got 10 teams, you got a couple of local teams, you got some teams that are well known across the country, and you don't have.
Our schedule is very competitive, but I will say this: you don't make a schedule to win a barroom argument. You make a schedule that's best for your players, best for your school, and best for the goals that you want to set. And if you look at our schedule in 1983 and you look at our schedule now, there's no comparison. And that's how we want it. We want to prepare our kids. We want challenge, but there's games on there that aren't as competitive as we would like them to be, but they're home games. And you have to have a certain number of home games to make your budget, because in most high schools, the sports program lives off the football and basketball program. So your schedule has to be where, I like to have 7 or 8 home games, and 9 or 10 if we can, but
yeah, absolutely.
At least 7 home games. But go ahead.
Do you slot them games like you want to set it up like Louisville's first and then New Philly? Is there like a pattern that you have, or you just it?
Honest, you would like to. I mean, if you had an opportunity to, you would like that. But right now, scheduling's tough, and they thought that by putting 16 teams in the playoffs that it would make it easier. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to change it one bit, because your goal now is to be in the top 4.
Yeah. Right.
Because the top 4 get 2 home games. Well, when there was 8 games, your goal was to be in the top 4 because you have 1 home game. Yeah. So that hasn't changed. But they thought that the teams would play each other in more. That they'd be more acceptable or accessible to scheduling, but I don't think it's changed. It hasn't changed anything. Somebody says, "Well, how do you like being in Division 4 compared to Division 3?" My answer to that is, we won it in 4, we won it in 3, we won it in 2, we lost it in 2, we lost it in 3, we lost it in 4. Yeah. So there's good teams out there, no matter what region you're in or what division you're in, and so there's no easy path to the promised land. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. You got to prepare your team. We have 2 goals this year right now as far as our schedule goes. We want to have a better kickoff team. We want to do better. Okay, well then you're going to say, what goes with that is we face some quarterbacks that could take off. Not on design runs. Design runs you can defend. Yeah. It's the undesigned runs that So that's the goal that we have. Or just little goals that you set as a coaching staff and as a team.
And then we're just looking at your schedule, and I know, just talking to you in the past, you always try to play teams in a regular season that's going to prepare you for the playoffs, so you can see all kinds of different, like a running team, a team that spreads you out. You want to see all that stuff so you can be prepared when you get into the playoffs.
So now that goes into your scrimmages.
Yeah.
So our scrimmage, we've got Gerard. Gerard will throw the ball 7 or 8 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So that'll get us prepared for that, for what we've been working for. Then the next game is Canton South. Well, Canton South does exactly what New Philly does, because that's their coach now. Yeah. He went to Canton South, so they run with the tight end. They run the ball. They mix it up a little bit. So that's we wanted to get that on our schedule as far as scrimmages go.
Talk about Gerard. There was days when Gerard would they might throw 5 passes a game. Now you're talking about all kind of throwing.
Well, since they had that quarterback, that name slips my mind right now, but he went to YSU. Now, I don't know if he's still playing or not, but he was a really good quarterback, and they started this offense when he was there. So last year they ran the same formation, but they ran the ball more. Mm-hmm. So and their quarterback was number 80 that I was watching on the film. So maybe he was replaced an injured, somebody was injured, or whatever. But that's what we have to prepare for that on Saturday morning.
How do you like his schedule this year? I mean, is it favorable for you? Do you think, I really like this. I really think we can do some damage here. Is there any team?
I never look at it like that as far as damage or no. I look at our schedule. I want our players to compete at a very high level. Not 10 games. I don't think anybody can do that, from the pros, the colleges, or anybody. You have I would say, through my experience, is you have about 4 good games in you in a season where you're going to play at the top of your game for those 10 games, and then you got to just take a deep breath and get ready for the playoffs. But you're not going to play to the oomph degree or to the 100% every week. That's impossible, especially. At any level, it's impossible. To have 10 games where you're going to play at, like they say in baseball, sometimes you got to win and you don't have a curveball. You better find another way to win. So, that's the same in football. There's no curveballs involved, but, sometimes you just, the perfect game is your quarterback's throwing perfect passes. Your receivers are catching the ball every time. Your linemen are never missing a block. Your backs are never missing a cut, and that's impossible. That's impossible to have 22 players playing at the top of their game for 10 games. So as far as killing people, we just want to try to prepare our players. If we can put them in a position to be successful, then we've done our job as coaches. That's one of the 4 points that we try to emphasize. Be on time. Play as hard as you can play. Trust your coaches, and in turn, we're going to trust you that you're going to do everything that you've been taught. Trust us to call, and we're going to trust you to get it done. And then at the end, finish. And that's what I talked to them today. We started out the last 2 practices beautiful, but we didn't finish beautiful. So that's part of conditioning. So, but you don't want to condition too early, and then it just
right.
It's a thing that you have to play by feel. Every team's different.
Quick question about scheduling. Your schedule was probably almost already done, and it was kind of late when you found out. You probably knew, but most people didn't know if you were 4 or 3. Probably till about 3-4 weeks ago.
No, we didn't know. We didn't know till you guys knew.
Yeah, so it's probably been 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Hey, we're in Division 4 now.
Well, we had to make our schedule for Division 3.
Yeah.
Because that's where we could have ended up.
Yeah.
And if it's good for 3, it's going to be good for 4.
Yeah.
So, but if you make it for 4 and then you're in 3, then you have a little bit of a problem. So, like I said, we've been Division 2, we've been Division 3, we've been Division 4. We've been successful in all 3, but we've lost in all 3. So we have to prepare. We have to prepare to be in the best. And we were not only Division 3, we were in the best division in Division 3, or the best region in Division 3.
Yeah, Region 9 was loaded. It's still loaded this year.
Yeah.
It's loaded now, but like Dover and a couple of teams went to 2.
Yeah.
So
helps out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a time out. The Coach Reno Suckout Show is being brought to you by Fort Steubenville Maintenance. We'll be back to get into the schedule right after this timeout.
Got a sidewalk that needs replaced, or maybe your roof is leaking? How about some new windows? Who do you call? Fort Steubenville Maintenance, that's who. Commercial or residential, they can handle most any project, big or small. They also do new construction and renovations. So get a free estimate by calling Fort Steubenville Maintenance today and get them started on your next project. 740-283-4890 for Fort Steubenville Maintenance.
This is Ohio Valley Sports Online, your connection to Ohio Valley sports. Listen anywhere in the world from any connected device, smartphone, tablets, iPads, and computers. Ohio Valley Sports Online brings you live game action from the guys with over 50 years in radio sports broadcasting.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
You're listening to Ohio Valley Sports Online, the sports authority. If you want to get your message heard, visit us on Facebook and leave a message. Ohio Valley Sports Online is on any connected device, phones, tablets, smart TVs. Follow us on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe free to our YouTube page. Type in OVSO. You will get immediately notified the instant we go live with our next broadcast.
Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online. You know, Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
When you need electrical work for your home or business, you need it done right the first time. The IBEW provides professional electrical contractors and tradesmen that undergo extensive training and apprenticeships to ensure the best service and safety for your electrical needs. Our quality jobs in the community fuel our economy with quality workmanship. We're your International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and we are trained to electrify.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too, only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
All right, welcome back here. Coach, we'll get into we'll start with the first three games. It looks like it's pretty, daunting. Louisville's always pretty good. I don't know how they're going to be. But Louisville, New Philly, and the team from D.C., that's pretty, and the second one's on the road.
Well, it's going to be competitive, and you talking about the first three games. That's exactly how we prepare.
Yeah.
Our first 5 or 6 days of practice, we're preparing for us. Okay, the next 2 or 3 days, we prepare for the three teams we're going to play. And then tomorrow and Friday, we'll prepare for our scrimmage. And then Monday and Tuesday, we'll prepare for the first teams we play. Wednesday will be for our preview on Thursday. Then after that, it'll be on the first team that we play, Louisville. But, we have a little bit of Louisville and New Philadelphia and Archbishop Carroll sprinkled into our practice right now.
How do you get, you just watch films from last year on Archbishop Carroll? Because I know you played New Philly and I know you scrimmaged Louisville last year. But it's probably tough to get film on a team that is from that far away.
Well, if you got to work. You can't be lazy. You got to work. You got to call people. You got to get on the internet. A lot of games are on YouTube and things of that nature. And everybody says, Reno, why don't you want this on YouTube? Why don't you want it? I don't want to. That's why.
That's what I'm tapping you for.
Yeah.
I tell him all the time. I liked your line when you said that. He goes, well, why does other teams let? Because they don't want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a tough thing. You guys, I know your coaching staff's been with you for a long time, so I know they're working, trying to find film and stuff like that.
We spent the month of April and May breaking down the teams that we played the year before. Who do they have coming back? What's their strength coming back? What's their weakness? What's your reserve game? Who they have? We spent time April and May on that, and then June. We spent, a lot of our free time on our Archbishop Carroll because we haven't played them.
Yeah.
So our first three games, we know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do, and you just gotta who does it the best.
But I know you don't get on social media and stuff, but they always talk about Big Red schedule, and I always tell them, I said, some of these teams like Alderdice that you play, and some of these teams, they're pretty good football teams. They got athletes on the football field, and I said, well, if they can play them, I'm pretty sure an area team would want to pick them up. They would probably play them too.
Well, whatever schools are complaining, about our schedule, they can help us out by playing us.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Right.
then we wouldn't have to play Alderdice.
That's what I don't get. Now you're in Division 4. I'm just my opinion. I'm not stirring any pot.
Alderdice has had more success
Yeah.
than people give them credit for. Yeah. And Obama's 3 schools in one. I mean, they have players.
Yeah.
And it's just.
I agree. Now you're in Division 4. I think the schedule should be, why not play Indian Creek? Why not play St. Clairsville? They're in your region. They're right there. You're right next to you.
And I don't blame anybody for not playing, because I think as a coach, like I said at the beginning before we even started this, as a coach you got to do what's best for your team, not what's best for Steubenville. What is best for your team? And if playing Steubenville is not best for your team, then you shouldn't play Steubenville, but you shouldn't complain about who they're playing. Okay, so I mean that's just my opinion. I do what's best for my team.
Yeah.
And our players and no, like I told our kids today, you came here because you wanted to be coached hard. Yeah. And we're gonna coach you hard. We're gonna schedule hard. We're gonna. There's no easy button in football, in my opinion. So I don't want them to think they can just press the easy button and go out and play. You gotta earn what you gotta do. I don't care how good you are, how good a football player you are. Do you fit into the team concept?
Yeah. Once you've got a game like under your belt, first season game's over with, and now all these other teams have already played too. As you get ready for your second, third, whatever, scouting-wise, you get tape, but you also send guys out to watch games. How do you determine who's going out there? Is that a set thing of who's going to go out and scout?
We have junior high coaches and freshman coaches. They take turns, or like you. The easiest way to do it is, hey, you 3 guys got New Philly, you 3 guys have Dover, you 3 guys have this team, you 3 guys have that team. And if you want to switch and go back and forth, we really don't. I mean, our coaches do such a good job of scouting that I really don't get into who's going where. We'll send a schedule out, and then if guys want to trade, they trade. They all know what we need. We want you to come back with 3 things. Okay, and those 3 things we need you to come back with. Everything else we can get off the film, but there's 3 things we have to have that are vital to our practice. And if you can get those 3 things and you miss everything else, then that's fine. But get those 3 things.
Well, I was talking about it earlier. You got some seniors coming back. I think I was trying to count them, 18 maybe from my high.
We have 19 seniors. 19. I don't know how many of them are coming back, but because we have 2 or 3 that are out for the first time. And,
Because I was trying to count them in the paper. You had a kickoff banquet. It looked like you had quite a few seniors for this.
We had 17 at the kickoff banquet. 2 were excused, but like I said, we have 19. We have 58 kids. We had 61, but we have 58 now.
Yeah. And then I know Jags wants to stay on the schedule. So do you prepare the last half of the schedule for trying to get your team molded, ready to go to the playoffs?
No, I think that I can't say what we do with the last half of the schedule because we haven't done the first half yet. What if you're 4-4? You're going to prepare a lot different than if you're 7-1. Excuse me.
Talking about the team coming back a little bit, Coach. I know you got your starting quarterback back. You got a couple guys on the offensive line. You got some running backs coming back with the fullback, and some special guys on the outside coming back also, offensively.
We have a good nucleus coming back and going on right now, and but we have a really good nucleus back. But like I told our players, if your coaches are the leaders of the team, you're going to have a good team. Yeah. If your players are the leaders of the team, you're going to have a great team. Yeah. When you get player leadership, that's so important. Yeah. And but you got to make it tough on them. You got to make it. They can't have an easy 3 or 4 days. Like I got on guys today that they didn't deserve it one bit.
Yeah.
But you got to get it. You got to get into them and see how they play when they're mad at you.
Yeah.
There's just different things you got to do to. Like I said, there's no easy button, and if I'm going to make it easy for one kid, then I'm not doing him. I'm not doing him justice.
I always tell people this. They when you sit in the stands as a parent last year, he's not there no more. But when you hear people talk about just second guessing people, I always tell people this. I said, listen, there's 2 people you never second guessed at Steubenville High School. It's Reno and Freddie. They've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah, but you know what though? That's why I like it here.
Yeah.
Would you rather be at a place like Big Red?
Yeah.
That are care and they want you to
win,
or be at a place where I'm going to the game and I'm going to watch the band and I'm going to watch the cheerleaders and then if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. I'd rather be at this place here where most of the people. Now there's a lot of people that think they know football but don't. But most of the people that have been following Big Red football for the last 50 years or 20 years, whatever, they know. They know. But the only thing I disagree with is I don't want anybody to think that they're more hungry for a win or a championship than the players are.
Yeah.
Because don't think that you're sitting at home on the couch having a cigarette and a beer and a sandwich
and they're out in 100 degrees. I agree with that.
Right. These kids want to win, and all kids want to win. Every kid wants to win, but do you want to win when it's hot, when you don't have any more, when it's sweating, when you got to go back out, when you got to lift, like we lift before practice, but it's only 12 minutes every day.
Yeah.
The kids today pay the price.
Well, you got to build a program. You have to start from the ground, and you've done a pretty good job. I think 1983, you've been there, if I'm saying it right, 4 state championships, 5 state runner-ups. And
yeah, that's horrible, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
I'd rather have the
opposite way. I understand.
Yeah. But you know what? But you can look at all those games. Mm-hmm. You can look at all those games. We could be 1-8.
Yeah.
But we could be 8-1.
Yeah.
So you gotta. The only thing I'm concerned with right now, really concerned in my gut, in my heart, in my soul, is fixing the kickoff team. Yeah. And that's what I wanted. That's what I want more than anything else is to fix the kickoff team, and everything else. I thought that our kids played their hearts out. We didn't do a good job with the kickoff team, and you score 42 points and lose, and then. Win like I can't remember the game. I can't remember
Talmadge,
the final
right?
score against Talmadge, but it was a high-scoring game too, and we played against good players. Those kids are already committed to schools, and we went against good quarterbacks last year. We didn't go against any podunks,
right?
So and that prepared us. That prepared us for this year, and we haven't had really good practices, but we've had very enthusiastic practice. We even when we're at our worst day, our kids aren't pouting. Our kids aren't. They're working. They're trying to get better, and it's hard because we make every kid learn a couple positions, and that's hard. You're a left guard one day, a right guard the next day, and left tackle the next day. The only guy that stays constant is your starting center. Yeah. Other guys center, but the center doesn't play. The starting center doesn't play anywhere else. Then we try to just teach receivers one position, either X or a Z. Yeah. But then you got to learn J. And we have three tailbacks. We have 3 fullbacks, but we have 3 kids that we're trying to teach both. Yeah. So, we feel like we have 9 kids that can play in the backfield. And, some are better than others, but some are better at one thing and not as good at another thing. So,
Coach, you've been at it for a long time. What brings you back every year?
I don't know. Just
compete.
I like the game, man. I like the game of football. I like preparing kids. I just like everything about the game of football. From passing out equipment to collecting at the end of the year. I like everything in between. And I've in my life, but my goal is just to bring the best out of every kid. And if you're not bringing, no matter what ability that kid has, my job is to bring the best out of him. Even if the best is not good enough to play, it's you got to bring the best out of him. And that's just I've been fortunate. I've been here 40 years. I've had 2 offensive coordinators and 3 defensive coordinators in 40 years. I mean, and I was just talking to Bobby Radakovich. He came to our passing scrimmage and filmed replacement. He's in the hospital right now, and you talk about loyal. I mean, he's a loyal person, and he was a very good coach. I think he quit too young. I think he wished he was still coaching.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for stopping by and kicking off the 2022 season with our scheduled show, and then we'll see you here in a few weeks. Couple of days before opening. Is first game on a Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, because anymore you can't tell who's playing Thursday, who's playing Friday.
Well, you can tell if you read the paper.
Well, I don't get the paper.
Well, let me ask you a question
read?
real quick. I know we talked about it off the air, and I got a lot of text about it. The officials. I know me and you talked about it. I know you said you guys are good. Have you heard anything about the OVAC officials? I don't know, because they said the coaches didn't know.
No. I got a call 2 days ago that they were thinking about not officiating a second game. We're away to second game, but it's not OVAC officials. But the officials that love the game of football and are not doing it for the money will be there Friday night. From the coaches to the officials to whatever. If you're in this for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't get paid, because they do a good job. But if they go on strike, it's not their job. This isn't their job. It's their hobby.
Right.
If you work in a mill or you work in a labor union or you work where you're earning money to feed your family, then you got to be out there. You got to fight your ass off for what you deserve.
Yes.
But and fight for what you deserve in refereeing too. But if you're going to go on strike as a referee, then you don't love the game. That'd be like me going on strike because I don't get paid as much as Central's coach or Wintersville's coach.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys I talked to, and I talked to some of the better officials, they said they'd be there. So, and I go with that word.
Well, Coach, thanks, God. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And
don't forget Patty's fish.
Yeah, don't forget your wife's fish.
I can't forget her fish. All right. Hey,
She'll
thanks.
Good luck.
I'd
I'd like to thank all the people in the Big Red Nation that's listening. Thanks for your support.
All right. Take a time out. We'll be back with Connor coming up after these words.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
While you still can. Pre-planning at Everhart Bove ensures that your family won't have to worry about the stress of final arrangements during this most difficult time. More importantly, they won't have to worry about how they'll pay for it. Visit Everhart Bove Funeral Home today and discover all the affordable options available. Everhart Bove Funeral Home, Wintersville, Richmond, and Burgolds.
The Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show can be heard each and every Wednesday starting at 6 o'clock live from the spot in Steubenville. Catch live interviews with coaches from your high school football team who will discuss opponents, strategies, players, and more. The Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show live from the spot. Ohio Valley Sports Online and the Franciscan University want to thank one of our proud Barron sponsors, Dr. John Fickle, MD. Thank you, Dr. Fickle, for sponsoring this broadcast. Springtime means cleanup time, so if you're planning a renovation on your house or need to get rid of some debris, call for a driveway-safe dumpster from Chappie's. Yeah, Chappie's has 15-yard dumpsters available for same-day delivery, and Chappie's rates are all-inclusive. There's never any hidden fees. You can do a 7-day rental, or even better yet, a discounted 3-day rental. Clean up your shed, garage, basement, and get a dumpster from Chappie's today. Online, it's chappiesdumpsters.com, or call 740-359-DUMP. That's 740-359-3867. Be happy. Call Chappie. Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red head football coach Reno Suckoch on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Strikers, where your shot never dries up and the turkeys are always wild. Holiday Lanes is the proud home of Strikers Sports Bar, featuring a wide variety of beers, wines, mixed drinks, and more. Specializing in craft beers with over 80 varieties to choose from. Strikers is an indoor/outdoor venue featuring 6 55-inch high-definition flat screens, making it the perfect place to catch all of your favorite teams in action. Come in today and try the best wings and pizza in the valley.
The Target Shop has all your fall needs. Shop local and get all your school spirit gear, fanwear, and everyday apparel. Support your locally owned Target Shop. The Target Shop offers new designs weekly. Stop in soon.
We here at Village Sleep Center know that everyone deserves a good night's sleep. That's why we are committed to offering you the very best quality mattresses and bed sets at the most affordable prices. We offer the Valley's largest selection of Serta, especially the iComfort and iComfort Hybrid.
Village Sleep Center is conveniently located at 2528 Sunset Boulevard in Steubenville, or call them at 740-264-5151. Village Sleep Center is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
You know, now's the time of year to reward your young athlete for a job well done. At the Wintersville Trophy Shop, they have all you need for your special athlete, like trophies, plaques, and ribbons for every sport. The Wintersville Trophy Shop, 756 Main Street in Wintersville, 740-266-6905. Call today.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show here at Bennigan's. We're with head coach Andrew Connor. This spot is sponsored by Everhart Bow Funeral Home. All right, Coach Connor, we've been talking about the schedule coming up. We asked Reno the same thing, and it's probably easier for you because you're in a conference, so you probably have 6 already filled.
Yeah, it kind of goes off and on because we only have to play the north, and then you can cross over to the south. So some of it is, relative, to being a little easier scheduling-wise, and we are trying to modify it back 7 or,
So how many games did you have to fill?
We only filled one game. So the only game that's new on our schedule is Week 5. We travel to Utica, Ohio, to play the Utica Redskins.
They're a good Legion baseball team.
I didn't know that.
I do, because I played them 3 times when we were in the state tournament. I just remember that. What division?
They are Division 5.
5, okay. Because now you got, I believe, Cambridge is your opener.
Correct.
At home or up?
It's at home.
Oh, so you get some home games this year.
We open up the first 2 games at home. We play Cambridge and East River. Then we go Thursday night to Brook. We have Weir High at home. Then we go to Utica, Belair, Martins Ferry, and Beaver Local. And we end the season with Harrison and Edison at home. 5 away, 5 at home.
That's a pretty good. So is your parking lot all ready to go out there?
Parking lot is being paved as we speak, and so it should be both the parking lot, the back parking lot should all be done. So, it'll be the first year where everything goes as is. It's supposed to be as is. So
that's always a good thing.
It is.
Now, scheduling, Andrew, I know you said you got 6 full. Do you prepare yourself for the playoffs, or are you preparing yourself? How do you do your schedule? Like I asked Reno the same thing. How do you do it? He says, I schedule to see as many types of offense I can see in a regular season to prepare myself for the playoffs. It's probably kind of tough for you since you're in the conference and you got 6 games. How do you guys go about filling it?
For us, basically a lot of times for me, it is more, about trying to make it more of a local rivalry type of thing for my kids. So, like in our instance between our league games and then, playing Brook and Weir High again, playing Edison yet, even though they're not in the league anymore. I think it's one of those things where I think our kids are excited to play schools that are right up the road, or where there's a rivalry, and the fan bases kind of get on Twitter the week of, and I think that is the stuff that I think makes it interesting and fun for the kids. The kids play against each other in travel ball where they know each other, and I just think it makes it better. And I think playing in front of full crowds and the stands being packed, that gives the kids a great high school experience. And then I think when you play even local teams, you're going to get different varieties when it comes to offense and defense. But to me, the league helps us, and I think playing local teams, you never get caught, I guess, in what I would think is a game where it would be hard to get your kids up for, because whether it's a league game or it's a local game, you don't want to lose to Harrison, you don't want to lose to Edison, you don't want to lose to Martin's Ferry. So that's part of the thing that goes into our scheduling.
No St. Clairsville. Is that are they in the Buckeye 8 still?
They are. They're in the Buckeye South. We took a 2-year thing. We're back with them again 2 years from now.
So I'm trying to figure out how that, I know Edison's out, right? Edison's not in the Buckeye 8?
So the way it is right now, the Buckeye North has just us. It has Beaver. It has Liverpool. Okay, and it has Harrison. Then the Buckeye South would have Cambridge, St. C, Belair, Ferry, and Cambridge. So that's 5 on one side and 4 on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So we're guaranteed 3 actual league games, but then we cross over with Cambridge, we cross over with Belair, we cross over at Martin's Ferry. So, we get a good variety of the Buckeye that way.
Belair's going to be, they said they're going to be having a decent team working down in that area. Guys are telling us, Belair's first 2 games of the schedule are probably a little bit more, they can bit off more than they can probably chew, they were saying, playing Fort Fry the first game of the season. But because
I think they have in that, and again, I'm just trying to go back to looking at that big board I got in my office, but I think it's Garraway and Fort Fry right off the bat.
Right off the bat, just talking to them. And Cambridge has got new turf up there now. So
they do. Beautiful stadium. Liverpool's putting in new turf. So a lot of schools around the area are trying to, have a surface where you don't have to worry about rains and everything else going on. So that's always a nice thing, too. I mean, us having turf, it's been the same way. You don't have to worry no more about elements and everything else.
It does help.
It does.
Well, the region now has changed, and I was asking every coach I can ask. You didn't know who was in your region until freaking 3 weeks ago. That's why I asked Reno, how did you schedule? You don't know what region you're in. You could have been in probably Region 9 in Division 3, which is absolutely murder's row, but it did work out. Dover goes up here and bigger it comes down. But how did you guys go about that? Was you really worried about it? You knew you were in 15 and that was it.
You know what? The only thing I thought of would be, a lot of times when you're the single team, and we were the single team in D4 at that time, you always wonder wiggle room, But when Steubenville's with us in D4 from Jefferson County, then you kind of think, where are they going to put both of us? Because you're not going to split us. You know what I mean? So sometimes when we do it, the 2 of us travel north. And I thought maybe there was a chance they'd send us north. Yeah. But a lot of times they have sent us, west, and they kind of sent us west. And, we're in the same region we've been in now for the last 3 or 4 years. But, just prior to that, we were up, north. We played the Hubbards. And my thing is, if you have a successful season, you're just happy you're getting in the playoffs. And whoever they tell you got to go wherever you play.
I mean, it's like people were talking about the region. I mean, you got Columbus Bishop Hartley, they're pretty good. Columbus Bishop Reddy is pretty good. Steubenville's always pretty good.
Indian Valley's in it, St. Clairsville's in it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good region.
It is. It's a very good region, and you want to do your best to improve every week. And like for us, right now we're coming off of our season. Other teams may be worried more about playoffs and getting in. Our big thing is we want to get ourselves in the right direction, and the Cambridge game has always been kind of a good stance for us, because they're in the region, and you basically don't want to lose a regional game right off the bat, and then, as you would do well, you're actually helping them do well. So,
correct.
The Cambridge game is very important to both of us because, the other team is going to be the team that really you're aiding and abetting one of the teams on
every
in
time
the region.
You win, you're giving
them
help.
something too. So this is an important game for us.
We'll take our first break here. Indian Creek head coach Andrew Connor, sponsored by Everhart Bow Funeral Home. We'll be right back.
Everhart Funeral Home, they believe you should take care of your loved ones while you still can. Pre-planning at Everhart Bove ensures that your family won't have to worry about the stress of final arrangements during this most difficult time. More importantly, they won't have to worry about how they'll pay for it. Visit Everhart Bove Funeral Home today and discover all the affordable options available. Everhart Bove Funeral Home, Wintersville, Richmond, and Burgolds.
Looking for a place to stay? Then stay at the Best Western Plus Franciscan Square Inn and Suite. Conveniently located in the beautiful Ohio Valley next to State Routes 22 and 7 at the gates of Franciscan University of Steubenville. Receive a warm welcome from friendly, attentive staff providing all the amenities you deserve. Each guest room is done in beautiful modern decor with amenities including a microwave and mini fridge, free high-speed wireless internet, and a flat panel television. Stay in a suite for extra space with the same great amenities. Best Western Plus Franciscan Square Inn is a proud Barron sponsor.
Hauser's has the best brand names and friendliest service. Your home will look great and you'll save lots of money. I know you'll buy from us because
Hauser's has it. Hauser's has it all.
Trying to find a local, family-owned pharmacy that doesn't treat you like a number, they treat you like, well, you. Visit Hood's Pharmacy. Find them at 971 Main Street in Follinsby. Hood's Pharmacy is family-owned. Family-owned for over 50 years. All insurance plans are accepted, and they have COVID-19 testing and vaccines available, so no worries there. Hood's Pharmacy features Sarah's Candy, plus a wide selection of greeting cards. Get the friendly hometown service you deserve when you visit Hood's Pharmacy in Follinsby. Come visit the friendly pharmacist and staff at Hood's Pharmacy today, a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Thanks, Everhart Bove Funeral Home, for sponsoring Indian Creek head coach Andrew Connor on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Well, we're back here with Andrew Connor, head football coach at Indian Creek High School. Let me get it in again, sponsored by Everhart Bove Funeral Home. I want to make sure I get that right. Andrew, we were talking a little bit earlier about schedule-wise and stuff like that. And how about offense? What do you got coming back offensively for you guys, and maybe what you got to come back defensively? I don't want to get into the first opponent because we'll do that the first week before the season starts.
For us, we return 4 starters on offense. Basically, if you just look at our roster, our roster has 5 seniors, 5 juniors. We have 20 sophomores and 25 freshmen. So a lot of the kids you see play this year, you will see play next year and the year after. So they'll become more household names because of the way the way the roster's set up. We have a good race for quarterback going on right now. We have 2 juniors and a sophomore. That we've gone to 7-on-7s, and obviously, there's some validity to a 7-on-7, but there's not as there's no pass rush. So, I always think to myself, you're not getting pass rush, that'd be sweet in a game. But we have a couple running backs back. We have some linemen that played. They're not starters, but we feel like we have a decent amount of experience, at least game experience. We just don't have a lot of starters back. But defensively now, we do have 6 starters back, and we had a transfer in from Harrison, who started at Harrison on their defense. So it actually would give us 7 starters back on defense. We're going to be, we have sophomore linebackers. We have some sophomores in the secondary. So, it'll be a younger team, but, even at this, with those guys back, most of them are back a year from now as well. Yeah. So, we feel like we've had a good season. Good summer so far. Worked really hard. Yeah, everybody's optimistic until the first punch is thrown on Saturday morning when we play Columbiana. But, like I said, we're just excited. I think the kids have really worked hard, and we've had some really good practices. Our numbers are up, and our attendance has been good. And, I just feel like maybe we're kind of back to, normal a little bit. And that's
getting
what we
over
need.
The COVID years and stuff like that. And then you're talking about your scrimmages. You got Columbiana Saturday, and then Thursday Carrollton.
Carrollton, both at home. So we scrimmage at home at 10 on Saturday, and then 10 again on Thursday. So that'll give us the ability on Thursday. Everybody we play early in the year will be scrimmaging in the evening on Thursday. So everyone will get to see us scrimmage Thursday morning, but we'll get to go out and see too.
Them,
So, And Carrollton's a good matchup for us. They're big, they're physical. They're also in the same region as us.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's another kind of thing. So for us, we'll see some teams that are in our region early in the year, and, we'll kind of judge ourselves on growth as the year goes on based on that scrimmage in our first game.
Coach, you talked about 5 seniors, 5 juniors. With that youth that you have, that's one, does that change your mindset of how you go about things, or is it the same? The same. I know you have the same expectations, but is your mindset any different with that many younger kids?
I'll tell you this: you hit it on the head. The expectations are the same, but the patience level and the gray hairs that I will accumulate will be different. The good, and I've said this. We're not going to use ever the idea of the youth being a negative and trying to. Every time something would go wrong, say we're young, because I can't stand watching or listening to that. The one thing I think we get with youth that I think is a positive is brought about by younger kids because they don't know any better. They're vying for spots. I mean, they're just more excited and more energetic. So we're going to use that as the great thing about being young and not the opposite, which is, the built-in excuse already, which is, well, that'll mean we won't be good or we're going to make mistakes. And I don't want to use that. I just want our kids to play hard, be excited, and then, rise to the level of our expectations, which is, we want to get back to a winning season and all the things that follow with a winning season.
And the goal, everybody's goal when you start the season is make the playoffs.
It is. Well, our goal is to go 10-0. I mean, it'd be crazy to sit here and say you're not trying to win all 10 games, and it'd be crazy to say that you won't make the playoffs. I mean, I know everybody says the cliche week by week, but obviously your big long-term team goals are to win all your games, and it's also to make the state playoffs. And so we want to do the same thing as the other 712 schools in Ohio want to do. Nobody wants to just be mediocre. You want to have the best possible season you can.
Just use the Bill Parcells thing. There's a scoreboard for a reason, guys.
There is. Put it up there and that's what I told our kids. Starting on Saturday, we'll be keeping score. I mean, maybe the scoreboard scored X amount. This team scored this one.
There's no doubt.
So everybody knows, and I told them, Thursday or Saturday to us starts what we hope to be a long journey of improvement and excitement and, trying to get back to the way we were, and try to rev up our fan base and, just the ability to be able to have as many people as you can in the stadium, the ability that our school's been built, the parking lots and everything are being done. You just feel like the momentum is headed in the right direction this time, and we're going to try to build off that. I mean, we have media day today. It's exciting watching the kids in their uniform. Tons of parents are there taking pictures. I just felt like, we're building slowly what we want to get back to, which is, getting ourselves back up and running. And hopefully if we get it turned, we're going to get it turned with a group that's going to be returning for multiple years, which is, something that's exciting. And our numbers are up at the junior high. And, we went through a dip there with numbers, and now our numbers are going the other way. And we're starting to average 20 kids per class. Instead of the numbers of 5 and 5, that's tough to do with. So
it's not easy when you got 5 seniors and 5 juniors. That's going to be tough.
No, it's
sometimes.
not. I mean, and again, the hardest freshmen got to play because numbers just are common sense. You have 10 guys for 11 spots.
That's right.
I mean, it's not. You don't have to be a smart mathematician. I'm not really smart about that.
Andrew,
but Coach D could help me with that math.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like, Andrew, we do this in every sport. We do all the sports. It seems like everybody was young. In baseball-wise, I know that. But every game that we did, we're looking around, we're going, holy crap, 2 seniors, 1 senior. Toronto had no seniors, but they didn't use that.
No,
you got to play.
That's what I said. I don't know what the thing is there because they practice, they go through everything. So, to say you're young, okay, you're young. I mean, that's just the kids. It's a numerical number assigned to that kid.
Exactly.
It's like this jersey uniform. Okay, so I mean, and I told our kids, I think it's great when you see the excitement, and I just feel like there's a lot of excitement. I mean, we've had some kids transfer in to play for us. I think it's been 3 kids that have transferred in from 3 different schools, and it feels exciting right now. And we feel like we're trending, to the best of my ability because again, everybody looks good at practice.
Yeah.
Terrible practice. You look good at practice. It's going to be Saturday. We play Columbia for the 18th time since I've been head football coach, and so me and Coach Spate know each other pretty well, and it'll be a hard-fought scrimmage. Columbiana kids are tough-nosed kids, and we'll find out on Saturday where this trending is going.
No, You talked about the kids on the team. I didn't catch the first part. The coaching staff. Are you guys?
Coaching staff-wise, Coach Karras is in the audience
Yes.
right now. He's our quarterback coach, DB coach. Joey Hammock has been calling the plays for me. I think he does a great job as offensive coordinator. And then all the other assistant coaches for me, both Wilsons, Mike and Justin, Sam Robinson, Andy Wagner, Zach Crawford, David Kemp. The cool thing about the rest of my staff, they all played for me. So.
That means you're getting old, Andrew.
Only Doug. I want to say I'm the oldest guy. As I look out there right now, Doug can smile all he wants. He's still older. So, but I am getting older. I understand that. I mean, and when you hear them always call you coach or boss, some days, I wish some of my staff would just, other than Doug, call me by my first name. So, but it's great staff. They work hard. They're loyal. And, I think that's one of the things as you kind of go through a season. I think one of the greatest things I can give somebody, being a head coach for 20 years, is you better make sure the guys in that locker room that are with you in that coach's office not only are really good at their job, which I have, not only do they work hard, which they do, not only do they understand football, which they do, but the biggest quality, I think, is their loyalty. Their loyalty, and I don't have to worry about, if something is done or said or, they're not going to go out and say something. I know
we're learning that from today.
Yeah, we're learning a lot of things. We're learning a lot of things about how important loyalty is. Important it is to have a staff that is with you and believes in your concept and kind of conveys that to the kids. And I think one of the things with the kids, they look at my staff and say, all those guys played for Coach, and they're willing to come back and coach for him. So, it's a cool thing to have all that in the locker room and be able to tell stories in the locker room, about that because, Coach Karras and Coach Hammock have been with me so long that those guys played when they were coaching too. So it's a nice mix, and I've been blessed. I got great, like I've said before, not only staff, but, Joe D is the ultimate athletic director, Dave Kell's the assistant, and everybody above me. I mean, I don't have to worry about, people worry or saying stuff or doing stuff, and again, the greatest school board in the world. So, when you have all that, it makes it easy to run a program, and that's what I've been blessed with.
I got a two-part question before we end.
Sure.
I thought Jags had a great question ending. You've been doing it for 20
years as head coach, 31 as a coach in general.
What brings you back every year?
You know what? I tell people all the time, it's the kids. I mean, it's the kids, the program, the people, the community. I mean, I have been lucky enough to find a job where the people appreciate how hard I work. The parents do, and I'm just blessed. I mean, if I didn't have all those intangibles, this would be a job. And I think that's what you understand as head football coach. When you walk in the office and you say, this job, whatever, time to retire. You can't do the job thing.
My second question is, I'm going to ask every coach tonight, I don't know if you know, what about week 2? You're at home. What happens if the officials don't show up?
We call our own foul like you do in basketball.
I mean, there's rumor around that the it's out there, the OVAC, and they had a meeting last night that they're going to boycott week 2. So if they boycott week 2, how do you? I mean, it's a tough question to ask now.
Well, I'm at home, so I'm going to get the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, the AD, the assistant AD, and somebody else, and we're going to put them in those black jerseys and tell them to go out there. I'm just going to say, hey, this is how we're going to get it done.
This is how we're going to get it done.
And then I'm going to wonder if I holler at those guys like I do other officials. I'm hoping I get maybe for the first time I'll feel like I'm getting all the calls.
You're getting all the calls.
You might see Jimmy Mack, Billy Douglas, Jason.
He might be out there doing the
Dan
game.
Vogel.
Maybe in a way I'll go out there and do it.
It's the question we were asking because they had a meeting and they said I believe there's 11 crews and they voted 9-2 to boycott week 2. So if you're at home, see Reno's on the road, he ain't got to worry about it. You're at home on week 2. If they boycott,
Well, I mean, I guess the non-humorous answer would be that we'd have to do our best to try to have another crew from somewhere else and pay another crew. Or, even in the case of that, if you need a crew so bad and you have to go get one that's outside, you just change when you play too. I mean, if you have to play Saturday afternoon, you play Saturday afternoon. If you've got to play Saturday night, you play Saturday night. I mean, so I'm not going to let that interrupt our football season. So.
All right, Andrew, it was nice to join you. We'll see you here in about 2 more weeks, and we'll be getting it on for real that Friday night, right? Friday night?
We're Friday night, 19th, in Wintersville. So we're excited to have a home opener in front of a full crowd with our band and cheerleaders.
That
and
nice, beautiful school out there
yes,
now.
We're very proud of what all the accomplishments we've gotten, and we're very thankful to our community for, doing something that was levy to get us all the things we have, and we're very grateful for it.
Hey, well, just tell Joe, I don't know if he's listening, tell him we need turf on the baseball field, too. I'm a baseball guy, Andrew. Start hammering him.
Here's the thing. If Coach D could make his own money, he would do it.
I know he would. I know he would. All right, Andrew, we wish you good luck in the season. We'll see you here in a couple weeks, and we'll be talking about the Cambridge Bobcats.
Thank you very much, guys.
Always
a pleasure,
Andrew's,
guys. Thank you.
Andrew was sponsored by Everhart Bow Funeral Home. We'll be right back with the Edison head football coach, Mike Colopy.
Everhart Bow Funeral Home, they believe you should take care of your loved ones while you still can. Everhart Bow ensures that your family won't have to worry about the stress of final arrangements during this most difficult time. More importantly, they won't have to worry about how they'll pay for it. Visit Everhart Bow Funeral Home today and discover all the affordable options available. Everhart Bow Funeral Home, Wintersville, Richmond, and Burgolds.
Be who you want to be at EGCC. Be who you want to be.
Be who you want
at
to be.
EGCC.
EGCC.
Be who you want to be.
Be who you want
at
to be.
EGCC.
EGCC. EGCC.
EGCC. Be who you want to be.
Be who you want to
at
be.
EGCC.
EGCC.
Do you have a fence that has seen better days? How about a new privacy fence? You probably could use a perimeter fence to keep Fido from wandering off. Call Edwards Fence Company now. They do all types of fence projects and have over 20 years of experience. Wood, chain link, vinyl, split rail, aluminum. Call to Edwards Fence Company, 740-632-8403. Needless to say, you're going to need a new fence around your new swimming pool too. Call Edwards Fence Company today, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
When you need furniture or flooring, come to Hauser's. Hauser's has the best brand names and friendliest service. Your home will look great and you'll save lots of money. I know you'll buy from us because
Hauser's has it. Hauser's has it all.
I gotta love the fall. Cooler air, golden leaves, birds singing. Unfortunately, the fall also brings uninvited guests like mice and other rodents. I got no love for them. Fortunately, my pest specialist, JC Pest Control, is such a welcome sight. They take care of all the uninvited guests of fall. You need to call JC Pest Control to rid the rodents of fall. 740-381-5928. That's 740-381-5928. JC Pest Control. They rid the pests big and small.
This is Ohio Valley Sports Online, your connection to Ohio Valley sports. Listen anywhere in the world from any connected device, smartphone, tablets, iPads, and computers. Ohio Valley Sports Online brings you live game action from the guys with over 50 years in radio sports broadcasting.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bennigan's Restaurant on Ohio Valley Sports Online as we bring you tonight's coaching scheduling show, I guess. It's a little done things a little bit different this time than we do normally. We start on the day or two before the season starts, but we decided to do a show, bring some of the coaches in, talk about their schedules, how they get their schedules, all that kind of information, things that we're not privy to normally. So joining us now is the head coach of the Edison Wildcats, Mike. Thank you, bro. Mike Colopy, and Mike, thanks for joining us, man. It's good to
Jax,
see you.
thanks for having me. I really appreciate
Good to
it.
see you, man. You know what? I used to see you cutting the grass at the old stadium, and I'm like, Mike don't have to cut no grass anymore.
No.
How's that feel?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, both fields are outstanding, and no, I'm definitely not cutting grass anymore. I'm not missing it either.
They don't do any shavings or anything there.
No.
You know, what I want to start off with, like I started with Reno, is that getting a schedule together.
Okay.
You know, I know it's not, you know, take us through how that works when you became coach and you wanted to set up your first schedule. Do you work with your AD to find games out there? I mean, I know you have, rivalry games with Creek and teams like that. But how do you go about the spots in your schedule?
Well, I can just tell you, last year was my first experience with doing a football schedule. And first thing, you have to make sure you know how many year contracts that you have with each school. And once you know the contract and who's how many years is left on each with each team, your open dates, and then you start to look. I know with football, you're always a couple years ahead. Some other sports, it's a little bit different. I mean, I can speak from baseball. Sometimes it's year to year.
How do you go about getting the contract itself? I mean,
contract,
1 year, 2 years, 4 years. It's not like a monetary thing, is it?
No, a lot of it's a coach's agreement, depending on what they want. Most teams do a 2 year. Most teams and most schools do a 2 year contract.
Would it be like one? Okay, we're going to come to your place and then
home
make
and
sure
home.
you come to ours.
Yeah, absolutely, home and home.
But your teams that are your rivals, like Creek.
Yeah.
I mean, you could sign a 10-year deal if you wanted to.
Right. So the teams that we play traditionally, I don't even know the years left on those contracts because we're playing them every year.
Yeah.
And when I was hired, Coach D had called me, Coach Dunleavy from Indian Creek, and asked if we still want to continue to play. Because there's some changes in the Buckeye 8. We're getting out of the Buckeye 8. This is our last year in the Buckeye 8. And I told them as long as you guys still want to play us, we'd still like to play.
Why is anybody jumping out of a league when you got guaranteed 7 games or whatever?
Well, I can tell you that I can't speak for everybody else, but we, as an athletic council, felt that that the league wasn't good for our athletic teams as a whole.
What's that mean, Mike?
Well, some of the other sports that we have, we're not very competitive in.
Okay.
And
so it doesn't just come down to football.
No, it doesn't come down to football. It actually, when we met to discuss everything, I was just the baseball coach. So my opinion was just baseball related. I didn't have a football opinion because I wasn't the football coach then. So I just told them baseball, it didn't really matter whether we stayed in the league or left.
Well, in baseball, you're playing 20-something games.
You're playing 27 games. We'll play all the same teams. We played the same teams before we were in the league. And we're going to be playing when we're out of the league.
I got a question for
you.
Before you became, the head coach of the football team, like you said, you were the head coach of the baseball team. What? How hard was it to go, honey? I think I want to become not only the baseball coach, the football, and then how did she take that?
I'm sure she was thrilled.
So, what had happened was the position came open, and I thought the coaching staff we had, because I was with Coach O'Brien,
right,
and we felt like we wanted to stay together. There's been a lot of change in football. Like traditionally, it's coaches are cycled in and out. And I mentioned it to her, and I told her I was thinking about it, and she says, "Well, if you're gonna, if this is something you're serious, we have to sit down." So after I thought about it and decided that I was going to apply for the position, we sat down and talked, and she honestly, the one thing that she told me was, you have to promise to go on a family vacation this year with us.
There you go.
So needless to say, I went on a family vacation last season, and I'm not much of a vacation guy. So I sucked it up and went to Myrtle Beach with them for a week.
There you go. If you ever need a sub, I'll go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah,
that's Jags.
I'm not very fun to be around. I've been told I don't have a whole lot of interest. But no, it was just talking to them, and I had to talk to the girls too because
kids,
it's obviously a commitment. I felt with the way the athletic complex was in the process of being built. I love the coach. I don't really have anything else that I like to do. I was excited for the challenge, but and I'm using my name I right now, but like going through the whole process, I had to it was interviewed and went through that, and I was very grateful that they treated me like everybody else. There was, because when you're at a place for so long, everybody knows each other, and
it's professional about it.
Very professional. I prepared as if I didn't know them. They asked me questions like they didn't know me.
How many guys applied?
I think there was several applications. To be honest with you, I didn't even ask.
Yeah.
It was none of my business. I just know I applied. I knew I went down for an interview, and things just kind of went from there. And when I was, offered the position, once again, I sat down with my wife and my 2 daughters, and I said, are you guys on board? Because if you're not, I'm going to do this. And they said, yeah, they were all excited. So, no, it's, you're only as good as your, the people supporting you. My wife and daughters are awesome.
Yeah, kudos to you and Kelly and your kids. Because Jags and I, we know it takes a lot.
Yes.
For one sport, and you do it for 2, and just God bless Kelly and the kids.
Yeah,
and you,
absolutely.
and you too. I mean,
So now you make a schedule up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you, when you look at your schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know I have this. I have Indian Creek on week 9 or 10 or whatever. And I have to fill in the rest here.
Right.
How do you go about picking? Okay, I'd like to get this team for week 7, maybe this team for week 3. How do you actually go about filling up your schedule?
Right. You take the present season, and I mean everybody probably does this, but you just list the teams, 22, 23, 24, and then when you have your openings, if you know for sure that a team isn't going to, like, you're not going to play a team. Then you look at that year and you start contacting to see if they are open in that week that year. And then you work out the logistics of, is it home, is it away? If it's a 2-year, it's, most.
Isn't there a site now where you can punch in and find out who's got open dates?
There's actually a few. And Mr. Bozick is our athletic director. He and I kind of came in together.
God bless you.
He is awesome. I love working with him. Yeah, so Mr. Bozick and obviously Mr. Morrison, but they I get a lot of the emails, and there's a high school athletic director website that shoots you an email about teams that are open, teams looking for games. There is a website. I mean, you can go to drawing a blank here. I know that I looked at I went to the OHSA website and looked at schedules, and you can kind of tell. I know that there is the guy runs. He's called Ohio Scheduler. I'm not a big social media guy, but I do use that because he'll start with, like, he starts with the current season, then he always works ahead. So, like, right now he's listing 23 season openings.
Are you filled up for next year?
Yes, we are filled up for next year. It takes a lot of work. There's a lot more involved. A lot of phone conversations, a lot of emails, constant communication. There's just a lot to it. It's a little bit different than other sports.
I was watching and driving, getting here. I missed the first part coming from work, but Coach Sack, and Jags talked. When they schedule, they're looking to schedule. He said he wants to see as many different offenses and defense as he can.
Right.
Trying to prepare. Now you obviously last year and this year in Buck Gates you have a set.
Right.
But the other games, are there certain types of teams that you're looking for?
I think that with where we're at, we're trying to find teams that match up with us, like the type of program, the skill set. We're kind of trying to establish things. And once we get our, hopefully as we keep progressing, the plan is to, diversify the schedule a little bit. Yeah, ideally you'd want a little mix of everything because, if you're good enough to make the playoffs, you don't have any idea what type of offense or defense you're going to face. So the more the variety you have throughout the season will prepare you for anything that happens, beyond that. No, as far as what we're looking for, a lot of it's just, a matchup that, that would be good for both teams. And I think that's what a lot of teams look for because, there's a lot of teams that we've been in contact with, that we've had mutual interest. Monroe Central was one of them this year.
Who's their coaching out down there?
It's Coach Ishii, I believe. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. And actually, his brother's the athletic director, and I haven't really had direct contact with him, but but Mr. Ishii, their athletic director, I've talked to him several times, and like I said, you just try to find teams that are interested in playing, and then you iron out the contract, and like I said, there's everybody, and I haven't done it very long, so I can't act like like I'm some veteran guy up here that's been through there because I really haven't, but it just seems that everybody the last 2 years it's 2-year contracts, and very seldom do you get a team that wants a 1 year, and usually 1 years happen when both teams only need a 1 year deal because they, like let's say 22, they only have week 3 open, but in 23 and 24 it's week 3's they have somebody penciled in or locked in,
right?
So then it's just finding somebody that's in the same situation you are, because most teams that are looking for a game aren't going to want to just play 1 year,
right?
Because that makes scheduling more difficult, and like I said, with football, you kind of have to stay ahead of the game, where you have to be at least 2 years ahead, sometimes 3 years ahead, and like I said, that's for me. I mean, like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but I've done our baseball schedule, for years, and it's way different. Like our baseball schedule can be done. If I talked to everybody in one day and got everything, it could be done in like 4 hours.
Wow.
The amount of time it takes to do that in football, it starts it sometimes it doesn't end. It could be at any point in the year, and then after the season, you're working, 1 or 2 years ahead.
No, ask Coach Connor and ask yourself just tell us about what's returning, what kids are returning. Not only the kids, but also like the juniors, seniors, younger kids, but also the coaching staff. Like you said, it's your first year. You guys want to stay together, pretty much everybody back.
Yeah, we have the same coaching staff as last year. We moved our middle school head coach came up, and he's now our freshman and sophomore offensive line coach. So he assists our 2 offensive line coaches. So Coach Piro's back as offensive coordinator. Coach Jason Fogel's the offensive line coach. Coach Frank Marcino's works with him. We're really lucky because Coach Marcino was Central's offensive line coach for years.
Yes.
So we have those 2, and Coach Evans that came up from the middle school, he coaches the young offensive line. Running backs coach Nick Angelini's back. Vinny Martinez back, backs coach. Nolan Marcus is back as wide receivers coach.
Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan. So we have, we have everybody back. Colin Skills helps us. He coaches middle school and he helps out with the varsity. We have a good group of guys. It's coaching together. Sort of like living together, where you have your moments when you're, when you're at each other's. You're kind of at each other a little bit. But as far as players, we have 9 seniors. I believe we have 15. We have 18 or 19 freshmen. The numbers, we have a roster in January, roster in June. So the numbers are kind of getting mixed up. I know we have 54 total players, 9 through 12.
Well, Mike, let's take a time out. Our new sponsor for you guys is Main Street Bank. So we'll come back with Coach Colopy and his edition of the Edison Wildcats 2023-22 schedule after we return.
The J.E. Foster Funeral Home has been proudly serving the communities of Toronto and Smithfield and all of Jefferson County for over 30 years. They are a family-owned funeral home, and they offer funeral and cremation services tailored to meet your needs, and they do so with professionalism, compassion, dignity, and respect. Jeff and Jay Foster would like to wish the best of luck to Toronto Red Knights and all of the teams up and down the Ohio Valley. If you or someone you know would like more information on how their family can help you guide your family in this time of need, please visit their website, www.jefosterfh.com. That is www.jefosterfh.com. Their motto, our emphasis on family carries over to yours. J.E. Foster Funeral Home, a proud sponsor of the Coaches Show.
Are you struggling to deal with unwanted pests inside, around your home or business? Call the JC Pest Control Service. For over 30 years, we've been providing commercial and residential, environmentally friendly pest control solutions for your family and pets. Our professionally trained technicians can rid your home or business of wildlife, bedbugs, and rodents. And our prices can't be beat. Call JC Pest Control to remove your unwanted pests.
Josephine's Authentic Italian Food is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. You can carry out or have it delivered. Do you have an event that needs catered? Well, give Josephine's a call today. 740-282-1599. Josephine's has an extensive menu. Look them up on Facebook or call them now. 740-282-1599. Josephine's Authentic Italian Food, carry out or delivery.
This broadcast is sponsored by Lancia Healthcare, specializing in skilled care, rehabilitation, and transitional care. They have 3 locations to serve you or a loved one: the Villa Royale or Villa Vista in Steubenville and the Belmont Manor in St. Clairsville. Lancia Healthcare is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online Authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online. That guy sounds terrible. Who was that?
Best commercial out. Well, besides Wendy. Wendy's the best.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bennigan's. This is our opening night, if you would, of Coaches Shows. And we got Mike Collickby from the Edison Wildcats talking about the schedule. So when you look at your schedule, you know, you always see games, I call them signature games maybe, games that you look forward to playing maybe more than others, simply because of the fact that maybe it's a state-ranked team or something like that. As you looked at your schedule, who were some of the teams that stood out that you can't wait to get a hold of?
Well, I'm probably not going to give you an answer that you want to hear. Honestly, we have the philosophy that there's no one thing, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's, you know, a positional work, there's no one thing more important than the other. And with our schedule, it's the same thing. And we don't look very far ahead. Obviously, time or week at a time, but our focus is just on the day and what we were trying to accomplish. You know, there's a lot of good teams on our schedule. There's, you know, a lot of teams, you know, that we're playing close proximity to. You know, as far as what our concentration is, we have a scrimmage Saturday. You know, so we're trying to prepare for that. But in all honesty, you know, nothing goes beyond, you know, our first practice tomorrow. You know, for stretching, we want to be not worried about anything else but stretching.
Yeah.
And we have to kind of, you know, it's, you know, we were all that age, and you know how it is with kids in their minds, and you know, it's you know, it's easier said than done. You know, it's you can tell them, you know, one thing at a time, one rep at a time. You know, we're not looking any further ahead, but you know, in reality, it's as easy as it is to say it, and it makes complete sense, and it's really a simplistic, you know, philosophy, but it's really hard because, I mean, we know how it is. I mean, everybody gets, you know, you start to look ahead, and you know, in sports, you look ahead, you get smacked right in the face with the present, and you know, we just have to be, like I said, in the present and not looking back or ahead.
Yeah.
Now they moved the opening the first game up a week this year, correct?
Seems like it's more than that.
Yeah. I feel like what's happened is I feel like, and again, this is going to look very poorly upon me, but I feel like since COVID, because I knew where, when our games were obviously in COVID, but it seemed like up, and because it's last year was right about the same time, and I think they made some the state coaches or the OHSA made some adjustments that we had 5 acclimation days added to our 10 days of camp, and I think they're just trying to do that so everybody can be prepared. Football is one of those sports where you never, again, I'm just a newbie still, but it seems like you're never ever really prepared, and no matter how much time you have, it's never seemed like it's enough. But
it seemed like it was just less time for practice,
Less. You have 10 days of camp,
right?
And then you have 2 weeks of doubles, and you go right into your first game.
Yeah,
it's definitely quick.
So I don't, do you, with that,
Mm-hmm.
are you more excited that the season starts early and you're ready? You get, week 1, and you're ready to go, or would you say like, man, I wish we had one more week. I wish OSHA would rethink this.
I think it's. I think everybody probably has they're mixed feelings. When you're practicing against, at some point you're ready for an opponent, because
right.
you're tired of hitting the same guys.
Exactly.
So I think that
unless you don't get along with that guy, then you can't wait to hit him every day.
Yeah, it's the best part about football. No, we. It's like I said, it's mixed because you're excited because, once the games start, you're in your routine, and it seems like after the first 2 or 3 weeks, everything just kind of flies by because everybody's in a routine of things. But like I said, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but it always feels like you're never truly prepared.
Right.
And the more you're prepared, the more comfortable you are. But at the end of the day, like I said, I just know how we feel. We feel sometimes it's
as
like
as a coaching
before.
Yeah, there's something. What, I should have did this, or I could have done. One more thing. You might think you said, "Okay, I got this. I'm ready." But I should have did this.
Well, that's where a lot of times you're you kind of lay at night, and the best thing that we have a lot of good coaches, and our coaching staff's phenomenal. We come in, we get our game plan together, and once we start installing it on Monday, there's not a whole lot of variation from it because, you can drive yourself crazy. There's so many different things. You try to think of every possible scenario that could possibly come up, and have a plan ready on Monday, and then practice it all week. But even at that, we as a staff, we're always, talking about scenarios that could happen, and the worst thing to do is to over-prepare where the kids, they're not reacting.
Yeah,
and,
right.
You want to be, you want to be able to go out there and be prepared and, kind of be on, a type of movement where you're not thinking. The more you're thinking, the more your feet aren't moving. So we just, like I said, it's the nature of the beast. Like I said, I don't want to stand here and sound like that because I haven't done it that long, but I just know no matter how prepared you are, you never feel like you're prepared enough.
Yeah. Well, Mike, we appreciate you stopping by and joining us tonight, and we'll be, talking to you throughout the season on Thursday nights probably. But
okay.
Maybe that first game we might be able to do something out there because they play on a Thursday.
Yeah, we open up August 18th.
Yeah, so we'll talk about all that. But good luck this year, your second year as head coach out there, and things always get better after a year, you know?
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. We're just our kids are really working hard, and everybody came in with a mindset that no matter what happened, had a really good attitude. They've taken the coaching, and I know I'm excited for practice tomorrow. I don't know how excited they are, but I know we're all the coaches we talk at night all the time. We're all excited. But, well, like I said, thanks for having me, guys, and looking forward to talking to you guys later.
All right, Mike.
All right. Thanks Jaggers. Thanks, Chase.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay.
That'll wrap it up here from Bennikins. We'll see you again a couple of days before the season starts. We start talking to our coaches about their upcoming first games of the year coming up.